Hi y'all, welcome to my shop. I made do with a small noisy air compressor for about 20 years, and it was okay for filling the air in the tires for my hand truck and occasional use of a brad nailer. It was of marginal use in blowing out chips when I was doing hollow forms, because when it cycled on, it tended to startle me. It was stored in an inconvenient location, and I had to move it over to the lathe every time I used it, so I didn't get a lot of use, and it cycled on a lot. So I finally decided an upgrade was in order, and I could use an air tool. I didn't need a really big unit, a 30, 40, 50, 60 gallon tank. I didn't have a place to store it, and I don't use that many air tools. I don't have a place outside of my shop where I could run quietly. So I bought this smaller, very quiet 10-gallon California Air Technologies air compressor that I think I'm going to be really happy with. I want you to stick with me as I walk through the installation of the airlines, which was a significant upgrade for me. It moves about twice as much air as my previous model, and it is so quiet. Keep watching. At the end of this video, I have an air tool that might surprise you for wood turners. Here's the sound that just behind my lathe at about 20 feet away. It clearly registers well below the 70 decibels at 20 feet that were in the specs. Very pleased. I know big air compressor units often have an automatic air drain installed, so it'll drain out the moisture that tends to corrode or rust the tank, but that's overkill for me. I turn off my air compressor when it's not in use, but this little auxiliary or accessory drain that sticks out in front, it makes it so much easier when I do turn off the tank and I drain it, that I don't have to bend over quite so far or lift it up to get my hand underneath it to use the drain. I did a little research and determined that the pneumatic air kit from Talon Z would meet my needs. It's 3/8 inch outside diameter and a 1/4 inch inside diameter. It's a good fit for my limited needs. The 32.8 foot, the 10 meter length was exactly the size I needed for the two separate lines with drops. That is, a coupler at the end of each run to fasten my coiled air hose into. It came with lots of plastic fittings to mount neatly against a wall or ceiling, but all I needed was the metal fittings to go on each end of both my runs. I bought the brass couplers and fittings from Harbor Freight as they were on clearance, which was cheaper than ordering them on Amazon. The fittings with the kit I used already had some type of thread sealer, so I did not need the Teflon tape that came with the kit. I screwed the appropriate parts together and they slipped onto the ends of the pipe easily and fastened tightly with a simple press fit design. And I have a few leftover fittings in case I need to, for whatever reason, buy some more pipe and join it, or feel like I need to really get crazy about mounting it against the wall, neat and trim, and turning corners or something, which I don't see happening. These pieces left over from Harbor Freight, I can't imagine what I would need them for a hose connection in the future. I'll probably turn them into ferrules for awls, since they're brass. I strung the hose up in my shop, tethered at each end in order to make it a little easier to install. I left it overnight. So my hose goes behind this shelving unit, up against the wall on the floor, all the way over to the air compressor. I'll probably figure out how to mount this on the wall maybe, but for the time being it's fine just flopping around there. This is when I need to have an air hose outside for blowing something, or using the air chisel to take bark off of a block of wood before I bring it into the shop. This air compressor's got two connections, so I can have one going to the right for that outside, that line for convenient outside use, and the other one moving over to the lathe. These hose fittings just press right on, and it's got this quick release lock in the back. You just press it forward and it'll slide right off, and without any damage to the hose or anything, and then you just press fit it back on and it's solid.
I've already connected one fitting and tested it. It works just great.
I don't often do hollow form, so but when I do, this is going to be a really nice upgrade from my previous Husky. It's mounted against the wall here, not too bad. I can just drag the hose over here and hook it on the back of the lathe or someplace if I need to blow out chips for a hollow form or something. It's GE, it's good enough. Some people might like something fancier. I suppose if I get compulsive, I can figure out how to fasten this hose line that I've got kind of draping along the wall, fastening it down on a more permanent basis, but for right now it'll work just fine.
Air hammer from Home Depot costs less than $14 with 4 chisels, so let's see what it's about. These things, as I understand it, I know nothing about this stuff, is designed primarily to cut metal or to bust through concrete, cut rivets, any number of things. Here's what the box looks like. It's got a 1-year warranty, costs 14 bucks off their internet sales. Pick it up at the store, no shipping charges. 4.5 cubic feet per minute air requirements at 90 psi. Now the reason I got this is a tip from Lyle Jameson on trimming bark. So that's why I bought this. So let's turn on the compressor, plug this thing in, and see what happens. Okay, my air compressor just cut off. So let's give it a shot. Let's say I was knocking off a piece of bark where I was going to put the live center. Let's see how well this does. Not every wood turner needs a huge air compressor with fancy lines neatly installed on the wall or ceiling. I used a 3/8 inch outside diameter pipe with a 1/4 inch inside diameter. It was low cost, easy to install, and it works for me. I'm somewhat of a minimalist. Some people might want to do a little fancier installation and fasten everything down. If you have a big shop, perhaps with a lot of air tools, and you need to have a need for a bigger pipe that you're going to have to run along the wall or along a ceiling, you know, my solution may not be a fit for you. You may need that larger pipe installed along a wall or ceiling instead of just laying along the floor and wall like my minimalist installation. I hope you'll check out my Amazon shop in the show notes below the description. As an affiliate marketer, any purchases and I may, by using those links, I may earn a small commission. And just remember, y'all stay safe. Come on back here.